Well, salam and hello to all my friends. I'm Iranian, and everything that's going on in Iran it's really breaking my heart. And today I want to talk about some of the fallacies that I'm seeing on both sides. They're very interesting, and I'll give you my opinion as to where they've come from. So the first fallacy is I'm seeing this a lot in the Iranian people. And the fallacy is that obviously they're very fed up with the Iranian government, with the Islamic regime, with the mullahs and the ayatollahs and the Revolutionary Guard. And they have been suppressed, they've been beaten down economically, financially, socially, from a human rights perspective. I mean, you think of it, people have very little rights in Iran, okay? You could get grabbed in the street and taken somewhere. You don't get a lawyer, you don't get anything for anything. I mean, they don't even have to give you a cause for why they're arresting you. It's nothing like the West. Like, people see the ICE protests now and they're freaking out that, this is happening in America, this is so bad. This is happening times a million in Iran. It's been going on for 50 years, okay? So obviously people are fed up, right? And they want these guys to be gone. And they see them as the enemy, okay? And who's the enemy of their enemy, right? The enemy of their enemy that they've been bickering and fighting about for 50 years is, number one, Israel, and not to the same extent, but also falls in the same category of butting heads, America, right? So the Iranian people have come to assume that Israel and America, the enemy of their enemy, is their friend. And this is not true at all, okay? This is not true at all. Of course, the American people want the best for Iranian people, and the Iranian people honestly want the best for American people. They want the best for anyone. They want the best even for the Israeli people. Okay, now, do the Israeli people really want the best for Iranian people? I'm not so sure. Because Israel is a very, very racist society, very racist. And they see everybody else in the Middle East as subhuman. Okay, I'm not making this up. There's studies from Israeli newspapers that have looked at this. So do Israeli people genuinely want the best for Iranian people? I'm not sure. But Iranian people, honestly, are very peaceful people. They want the best for everybody in the world. American, Israeli, European, Arab, anybody, right? They just want to live their life. They want to go to work. They want to make some money, feed their family. That's it, okay? Does the American government and Israeli government want the best for Iranian people? And the answer is a resolute no. Okay, why is that? It's because any government in the world ultimately acts in its own self-interest. Okay, there is no government in the world, in the history of humankind, that's been altruistic. Okay, meaning that it's going to help somebody at a cost to their own. Universally, all governments in the world are extremely selfish. They even act in their own self-interest, sometimes to the detriment of their own people. Okay? So to think that another government is going to come and help you because they're altruistic is a total fallacy. And of course, this wave that we're seeing of Iranian people coming in, and they're all now, you go to Iranian protests, there's Israeli flags there a lot, because they think Israel's going to come and save them, or American flags because they think America's going to come and save them. So this is actually created by a propaganda campaign very coordinated, very rapid propaganda campaign. I mean, I'm just seeing this live in front of my eyes, how they're brainwashing some of my closest friends to think that Israel and America is going to come and save Iran out of the goodness of their own heart. Okay? In fact, Israel wants Iran to be completely obliterated. The only reason they want this government to fall is because they think when the government falls, there will be created chaos. There will be civil war. Iran will be broken down into 10 different countries. It will become a broken nation, a broken state, like Syria, like Lebanon, like Iraq. Israel's very afraid of Iran because Iran is the only country to this day that has been able to penetrate Israel's defenses and cause serious damage to Israel. So Israel wants Iran to be weakened forever. Iran does not want a strong Iran. A free Iran means a strong Iran. Because if you give the Iranian people the freedom to do what they need to do, they're very industrious people, they're very hardworking, they're very smart. Iran will become a very strong country. And, I think America probably doesn't want Iran to fall apart because America wants stability in the Middle East. But Israel, this is another instance of America just getting dragged into Israel's agenda and acting not in its own self-interest and just going along with whatever Israel is doing. And so this fallacy that America and Israel, the enemies of my enemy, the Islamic Republic, are my friend, is a fallacy that the Iranian people have fallen victim to. Okay, and they're gonna find out soon that they're not your friend. It's either gonna be next week or next month or a year or next decade, and eventually they'll wake up. It might be too late, but they'll wake up eventually. Like I said, it's crazy to see how these social algorithms, like on Instagram, YouTube, these videos that come up, and they just suddenly, all of a sudden, all this stuff comes into your feed, right? All of this stuff comes into your feed. And you're like, oh, this must be true, right? This must be true. And they've become so good at shaping mass opinion. The social media apparatus, so good at shaping mass opinion. It's actually quite scary to see how they can brainwash an entire people. And the second fallacy that I'm seeing, and I don't know who's causing this or if this is just a reactionary thing to, Israel's genocide and all this other stuff. But the second fallacy that I'm seeing is people, this is mostly in non-Iranian people. This is mostly in like Western people and other Middle Eastern nations who see Israel as the Zionist, bloodthirsty regime that it is. And they see all the trauma that Israel has caused. And they see the Islamic Republic as the only government in the world to actually militarily stand up and fight back against Israel. And they cheer that on. And so again, the fallacy that the enemy of my enemy, the Islamic Republic, which is the enemy of Israel, must be my friend. They must be good. Hey, look, they're standing up to evil. They're standing up to this genocidal government. So they must be good. So they're cheering on for the Islamic Republic to survive. They're cheering on for, this Mossad plots in Iran to, really steer up this revolution, this protest to make him violent. They're steering up these plots to fail. And again, this is another fallacy, because the Islamic Revolution is not good. Even though they have stood up to Israel, which has done terrible crimes against humanity, the Islamic Republic has done their own terrible crimes against humanity. And there's nothing to cheer for in this situation. And ultimately, the victims of this are Iranian people. They don't really have a good way out of this. Either Israel and America come and topple the Ayatollahs and Iran falls into chaos and they'll have more suffering, or the Ayatollahs win this round and they continue and they become even more violent towards their own people, more suppressive, more oppressive. And then the cycle continues. And then America and Israel are going to come back again with something, another round, even more violent protests. And it's just the people of Iran are unfortunately stuck in the middle of this. They're suffering. The only good way, the only way that I truly see out of this is for the foreign governments to stay out and let the Iranian people decide their own fate. That's the only true way I see out of this mess. Thank you for listening. And thus spoke Mani. چنین گفت مانی.